Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So thank you so much, everyone. You've done exclusive singing for Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda. Everybody is busy watching all those things, and you've been able to serve him directly with your words, your emotions, your claps, all your ears, Great service indeed. So thank you. Normally there's a class at this time.
There won't be.
However, we haven't seen anyone. So, are you giving class? Oh, very good. So thank you so much. Prabhuji, what's your name?
Nirmal.
Huh? Nirmal. So Nirmal Prabhu is going to be giving a class. So a big Hari Bol for Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
And Prabhuji, what are you speaking from today? Bhagavad Gita. What was?
12th verse in second chapter.
Oh, it's there. Okay, very famous verse as well. So again, I'm so sorry we didn't realize because we were waiting for someone to come.
Engrossed, I just sat there nicely.
Oh,
This is
thank
okay,
you.
there is
Next time, please let us know because we meant to finish at 6, so we thought,
It's okay.
So this is the one that you want to take.
This one.
Is that the lead? Thank you all.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. तुम लोग पीछे हो ऊपर हमारी साइड में हाँ सु क्या वो तो करता लगा सु बेटा यार मला पवन लागसे सिद्धू पवन आला मला पकड़ हाँ एक्सटेंड नहीं था आई थिंक लेट मी सी ओके सिट फर्दर डाउन लो हमारी बैग रखो
Just in time. We just finished it.
क्या मोमेंट पूछ के देखा है चल
Why would the Sarana be? I was just 2 hours. I to go to now. I'm just back to back all weekend.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Probably I need assassin. Dia, can you help me? Grab the assassin. It is too low. Help మీరు grab the Vyasasana, it's just too low. Shall I set up the here, Prabhu? No, I set it up. Is that okay?
This is your first ever temple class.
That was too low. I thought I was
You're going to be great.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Also, don't worry about it. Because there are other entities here that can do the same.
Sure. No, it's fine, Prabhu. I'll just break Kartal.
Bring this in Jerry.
Yeah. I have the Kartal, yeah. If you want to play, it's fine. You said you have service. You said you have service. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're just going to talk about Bhagavad Gita, a small class. Before that, we'll just sing Radha Madha prayers. If you just know, then recite after me. And if you're not, then just close your eyes, focus on the deities. And then when it comes to Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you can join in. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की जय। श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की। श्री गौरानिताय की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you everyone for joining. We are going to talk today on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 12. The verse should be on both the screens. Yeah, it is there. And what we will do, we will recite the Sanskrit and the translation. And if you can join in, please join in. If you can't, then just listen. Thank you very much. Natveham jatunasam natvam neme janadipa na chaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayam atah param. I'll recite once more. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipa na chaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayam atah param. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Never was there time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Purport. In the Vedas, in Katha Upanishad as well as in Shvetashvara Upanishad, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer of innumerable living entities in terms of the different situations according to individual work and reaction of work. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is also by its plenary portions alive in the heart of every living entity. Only saintly persons who can see within and without the same Supreme Lord can actually attain to perfect and eternal peace. There is a verse that Prabhupada quoted here from Katha Upanishad. It says, Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yo vidhati kaman tam atmastam ye nupashyanti dhiras tesham shanti shashwati netarisam. The same Vedic truth given to Arjuna is given to all persons in the world who pose themselves as very learned but factually have but a poor fund of knowledge. The Lord says clearly that He Himself, Arjuna and all kings who are assembled on the battlefield are eternally individual beings, and that the Lord is eternally the maintainer of the individual living entities, both in their personal, in conditioned and in their liberated situations. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the supreme individual person, and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal associate, and all the kings assembled there are individual eternal persons. It is not that they did not exist as individuals in the past, and it is not that they will not remain eternal persons. Their individuality existed in the past, and the individuality will be continue in the future without interruption. Therefore, there is no cause for lamentation for anyone. The Mayavadi theory that after liberation, the individual soul, separated by the covering of Maya or illusion, will merge into the impersonal Brahman and lose its individual existence is not supported herein by Lord Krishna, the Supreme Authority. Nor is the theory that we only think of individuality in the conditioned state supported herein. Krishna clearly says herein that in the future all the individuality of the Lord and others, as it is confirmed in the Upanishads, will continue eternally. This statement of Krishna is authoritative because Krishna cannot be subject to illusion. If individuality were not a fact, then Krishna would not have stressed it so much, even for the future. The Mayavadi may argue that the individuality spoken of by Krishna is not spiritual but material. Even accepting the argument that individuality is material, then how can one distinguish Krishna's individuality? Krishna affirms his individuality in the past and confirms his individuality in the future also. He has confirmed his individuality in many ways. An impersonal Brahman has been declared to be subordinate to him. Krishna has maintained spiritual individuality all along. If he accepted as an ordinary conditioned soul in individual consciousness, then his Bhagavad Gita has no value as authoritative scripture. A common man with all the four defects of human frailty is unable to teach that which is worth hearing. The Gita is above such literature. No mundane book compares with Bhagavad Gita. When one accepts Krishna as an ordinary man, the Gita loses its all importance. The Mayavadi argues that the plurality mentioned in this verse is conventional and that it refers to the body. But previous to this verse, such a bodily conception is already condemned. After condemning the bodily conceptions of the living entities, how was it possible for Krishna to place a conventional proposition on the body again? Therefore, individuality is maintained on spiritual grounds and is thus confirmed by great acharyas like Ramanujacharya and others. It is clearly mentioned in many places in Gita that this spiritual individuality is understood by those who are devotees of the Lord. Those who are envious of Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead has no bona fide access to the great literature. The non-devotee's approach to the teachings of the Gita is something like that of a bee licking on a bottle of honey. One cannot have a taste of honey unless one opens the bottle. Similarly, the mysticism of Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees and no one else can taste it, as it is stated in the 4th chapter of the book. Nor can the Gita be touched by a person who envy the very existence of the Lord. Therefore, the Mayavadi explanation of Gita is most misleading presentation of the whole truth. Lord Chaitanya has forbidden us to read commentations made by the Mayavadis and warns that one who takes to such an understanding of the Mayavadi philosophy loses all power to understand the real mystery of the Gita. If individuality refers to empirical universe, then there is no need of teaching by the Lord. The plurality of the individual soul and the Lord is an eternal fact and it is confirmed by the Vedas as above mentioned. Hare Krishna. Very long purport by Srila Prabhupada. So here, Krishna is talking about individuality. So, if everyone knows Bhagavad Gita, then there are 5 topics covered in Bhagavad Gita. The 5 topics are Ishvara, that is God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jiva, that is eternal soul. There is Kala, the eternal time factor. Prakriti, which is called material energy. And Karma, the activities we do. So these are the 5 things which Krishna covers in Bhagavad Gita. These are the topics. And one of the acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he mentioned that Bhagavad Gita, the first 6 chapters talks about Karma Yoga. The last 6 chapters talks about Jnana Yoga. And the middle 6 chapters, which is 7 to 12, they talk about Bhakti Yoga, which is the essence of everything. So it is like a jewel box where jewel is kept very nicely within the box. So Bhakti Yoga, the middle 6 chapters are so important to understand. But at the same time, there is also important for us to understand that we are not this body, we are soul. And Krishna and Arjuna, this conversation, in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna puts a lot of arguments about why he should not go in the battlefield, he should not fight, why he should not kill his kinsmen, his relatives, his family members. And Krishna very patiently listens to everything. And in this chapter, at the start of first 7 verses, he put further arguments. Arjuna put further arguments to Krishna why he should not fight. But on the 7th verse, Arjuna says that, Krishna, I am now confused And what should I do? I don't know. I'm weakened, and miserly weakness is not helping me. So I'm now becoming your disciple, and please instruct me. And as soon as Arjuna says that I'm a disciple, please instruct me, the conversation completely changes from there. And at once, Krishna takes the position of a teacher, of a guru, and he starts instructing Arjuna in a way that a teacher should instruct. Before that, in chapter 1, it was a conversation between the friends of very, conversation that will go between two people. But as soon as Arjuna says that I am now confused, please instruct me, then Krishna start talking about that what he should do. So in this verse, the first chapter, the first section of the verse, it says, Natve vaham jatu nasam. No, there was never there was a time when I did not exist. Natvam neme janadipa. Never was there a time when you did not exist. Janadipa. Janadipa means all these kings who are fighting here, they did not exist. That means that I, you, kings, everyone was eternally there in past, they are talking now, and in future they will remain. So Krishna establishing here that we are all eternal souls. We are not this body. And we should make sure that we should not attach ourselves with this body. In the next verse it says that Krishna establishes the eternality of individuality of the soul. He also emphasizes that all of us are eternal nature and eternally we are persons. The second line of the verse, it says, Na chaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamat param. So Krishna is saying that not in future shall any of us cease to exist. There is no death for any of us. So what is Krishna is saying? That, we are eternal, and we should understand that this soul is separate from this body. The soul gives energy to our body and it helps us to move around. But we should not associate ourselves with this body. And this verse, starting from verse 11 up until 30, Krishna talks about the gist of this, all these verses, 20 verses, is eternality, and delve deeper into the concept of soul. What is soul? How it works? Nothing can happen to soul now or in future or in past, and it's always been eternal, and everything is there, which is because of soul. But then what it talks about as well is this soul which is spiritual. But then there is a gross material body. So this gross material body is anyways made up of 5 elements, right? It's made up of earth, air, water, ether and fire. And there is subtle body which is made up of mind, intelligence and ego. So Krishna is saying that soul is spiritual, this body is gross, is anyways goes to die. Whether you will maintain it nicely or you won't maintain it nicely, it's going to get destructed. But when gross body is destructed, the subtle body, it does not get destructed. It only get destructed when it's liberated. So when we get liberation, the subtle body will also be destructed, but spiritual body will never be destructed. So he basically saying that you should not lament for anything, because spiritual soul is eternal and it's never be destructed. Then the important bit here is when Krishna says that I, you and kings were eternally existing and eternally individual, does that mean that Krishna, Arjuna and all the kings are one? Does it mean one? And Prabhupada says no, they are not one, they are different, because Krishna is eternal and is Nityo Nityanam, which it confirms in one of the verses here where Prabhupada quotes that Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetanam. So there is a Nityo Nityanam. So there is one Nitya, which is a special eternal soul, which is Krishna, Nityanam, and this Chetanas Chetanam, that is consciousness, which is also eternal. But Bahunam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidhati Cha. So what he's saying that this Ek Nityo Nityanam, the Krishna is maintaining everyone, Bahunam. So we are not same, we are in quality, we are same as Krishna. So we are spiritual soul as part and parcel of Krishna, but we are not in same quantity. So quality is same, but quantity is not same. Now there is one very important concept where Prabhupada mentions is Mayavadi philosophy here. So Mayavadi philosophy, what is Mayavadi philosophy is a kind of atheism which imagines that there is no God, or God is all pervading and it's a light, an impersonal, and therefore we can imagine any form of the God. And Prabhupada completely refutes this. And he says that once a person gets liberated, then it merges into the light, and that is a Brahman, the effulgence that is coming out of Krishna. But there is also one analogy which Mayavadis give, and they say that a river which flows towards the ocean, at the end it merges into the ocean. Similarly, this soul, it flows towards, when it leaves this body, it flows back to the Brahman and merges into the Brahman. Clearly. But in the same explanation here, Prabhupada says the verse from Katha Upanishad that Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetanam. It says one personality is eternal and is full of consciousness. And who is that? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is maintaining every single person. A person who understands that, it says Tam Atmanastaham Pashyanti dhiras tesham shanti shashwati netarasam. Shanti shashwati means a person gets eternal peace if he understands that he is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So Mayavadis can argue in different ways. So they can say that yes, this individuality is there, but only in the conditioned state, but not in liberated state. And Krishna clearly says herein that in the future also the individuality of the Lord and others, and it is confirmed in Upanishads that will continue eternally. So it is not that the conditioned state is temporary and it will be individuality only in temporary situation. Krishna confirms that it is going to be eternally. It was present in past, it was present now, and it's in future as well. The cycle of birth and death, we are individuals, but when we break this cycle, then we go out and merge into their Brahman. That is not. We don't lose the identity even after coming out of this conditioned soul. We still keep our identity. So Mayavadi might say that they say individuality is material, not spiritual. But again, accepting that argument that individuality is material, then how can one distinguish between Krishna's individuality here? Prabhupada clearly says that Krishna affirms his individuality in past and confirms his individuality in future also. So Krishna is clearly saying that Krishna has maintained spiritual individuality all along. If he is accepted as an ordinary conditioned soul in individual consciousness, then his Bhagavad Gita has no value as authoritative scripture. So we are reading from this Bhagavad Gita because we consider Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is Aparushya. Aparushya means a person who is above the mundane, the 6 defects a person has. So we have to accept this as a Supreme Personality talking to us in which is above the mundane. He is not touched by Maya. But then also could be further arguments by Mayavadis saying that this individuality or plurality mentioned here refers to body and not soul. They will say Krishna is talking about body, but why he will talk about body? Because previous verse, Krishna clearly condemns the lamentation of Arjuna for living or dead. In the previous verse, Krishna clearly says here, Asocyanam asochavas tvam pragnavadamascha bhashase gatasun agatasun cha nat shonti panditaha. Krishna says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he says, while speaking learned words, Arjuna, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So Krishna clearly condemning the lamentation, the attachment towards body in the previous verse. So it is not conventional for him to then put the same argument about the body, that we are a conditioned soul and it only matters to this body. That's not the thing. Krishna confirms that this spiritual body is eternal and it is going to be eternal even after we get the liberation, not just in material plane. So now people would say, or Mayavadis would say, that why we should listen to Krishna who is Krishna. So some people may argue that. So in Brahma Samhita, so everyone knows that Lord Brahma is the first individual who was created, created by the Lord Mahavishnu. And Brahma then creates the material universe. So in Brahma Samhita, the first verse, it clearly says, Brahmaji mentions, Ishvaraha Param Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam. And the translation goes by this: Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is Supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is origin of all. He has no other origin and he is the prime cause of all causes. So these are the few verses which confirms that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he confirms that in various verses within Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 10, verse 8, Krishna confirms, he says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. It says, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with their hearts. So, all these verses confirm that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. He is above the mundane Maya and the nature, and his Bhagavad Gita, which is spoken to Arjuna, is worth reading and understanding. There is also a further verse in Sri Ishopanishad which says, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnam Purna Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. It says personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains a complete balance. So if he is not complete, everything emanates from him, then his completeness should reduce from there. But it never happens, and that is confirmed in this particular verse in Ishopanishad. It also says that in the earlier verse which I mentioned, it says Satchidananda Vigraha. So what is Satchidananda Vigraha? So Sat means eternal, the impersonal Brahman realization, which is effulgence, which Mayavadi confirms that they believe in that effulgence. Chit means knowledge, Paramatma realization. This means that Sat and Chit, when you have that understanding, then you have that Paramatma realization. And Ananda is bliss, the eternal bliss you get when you interact with Krishna in various loving exchanges. So, realization of impersonal Brahman is realization of his Sat feature, where you merge and thinks that, that is the end of your eternal spirit soul. When you understand the Chit function, the Paramatma function, that means your realization of Sat and Chit both features. And Ananda bliss is that. But it says Sat Chita Ananda Vigraha. Vigraha means there is a person behind this. There is a Vigraha where you can do loving exchanges along with Krishna. So that is very important for us to understand, because if I tell you that so when we do various things, we are individual. So if I eat, then will everyone be satisfied? No. You have to eat, you have to do your activities. So every individual being has to do their activities to satisfy themselves. Similarly, our soul is also individual, and it is always individual in past, present and future. Now Prabhupada talks about 4 defects here, that why there are this Bhagavad Gita is about the 4 defects of individual. The individual living being, which are all of us who lives in this world, we are mundane living beings. We have 4 defects. What are the 4 defects? That we are certainly commit to make mistakes. We are subject to illusion. We have propensity to cheat in various ways, a small or bigger ways, and its senses are imperfect. Our senses are completely imperfect. So we don't know, we cannot confirm things which we don't know. So our senses are imperfect. When I say that, behind these doors, I don't know what is happening, what is taking place. So my senses are imperfect, but Krishna's senses are perfect. He's above these four defects. He's aparushya. So when Krishna speaks the Vedas, he talks about at high level. He is not affected by this individuality of material nature. And why we want to understand Bhagavad Gita in that respect and not in other way is because Prabhupada confirms that this Mayavadi philosophy, or people who are envious to Krishna, they will never understand that. And Krishna confirms that in Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 4, verse 3, he says that that very ancient science of relationship with Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend, and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. So he says, Bhakto se mi sakha cheti. So Krishna says that because you are my friend, I am telling this to you. It is very simple to understand in this mundane nature as well, that if you have an acquaintance, you will not share every single thing with that individual. If you have a relationship with that person, if person is your friend, you're confident, then you will share every single thing with that person. So it is very important to understand that you have to, with challenging nature, with challenging mood, will not be able to go anywhere. Even in the mundane life, we cannot challenge every single thing. We have to accept certain facts. Similarly, we have to accept certain facts. We have to approach Krishna in a humble mood. Then only we will be able to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for us to understand Bhagavad Gita. There is clearly a good analogy given by Prabhupada. It says that this material body, we should understand and we make full utilization of this material body. Why? Because after millions of birth and death, we get this human form of life. And human form of life is very precious. We have a better understanding in lot of ways. So material world is compared to an ocean, and this human body is compared to a boat. The Vedic scriptures which we are reading, the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, they are, and the acharyas, the spiritual teachers, they are compared to an expert boatman. And the facilities of this human body which we have received, we can sit in a nice asana like this, we can roam around in a good car, we can sit, eat nicely, sleep nicely. So all these facilities we have been given is compared to favorable breezes in the ocean. So what we should do, we should use all these facilities and make most of this and understand and make the best of this human birth of life. Rather than suffering perpetually in various species, we should understand that we should make the use of this human birth of life. Otherwise, in Ishopanishad, it says that if we don't utilize, then we are called Atmaha, the killer of the soul. And then this Atma will then go in darkest regions of this material world. I pause here and in 5 minutes we will have Aarti. Any questions, comments, corrections? Thank you very much for listening. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Is my understanding correct that those who are partly in the Mayavadi concept, like thinking that Krishna is in everybody, Krishna is in people, he is in a way, Paramatma way, but Krishna is the very Krishna. They say, poor Krishna, feed him, so that's Krishna, and everything is Krishna, dear Krishna, all that vagueness. That is a great offense. It's a great offense. Is that correct? It's a small offense because there's still somewhere. Is it like doable with that, or is it like really, really should be condemned like Prabhupada does?
Yeah. So the question is that the Mayavadi philosophy, where they think that everyone is Krishna, I am Krishna, you are Krishna, everyone is Krishna. So their understanding in a way is correct when I say that, because they are looking at not this body, they are looking at Paramatma. So in everyone, each of us, we have a Paramatma. So when we bow down to someone, we bowing down to that Paramatma inside that person. But considering that I am Krishna, you are Krishna, it's incorrect. Because as I mentioned earlier, and Prabhupada says that we are in quality, we are same as Krishna. When Krishna says I, you, me, everyone is eternally present in a soul, but in quantity we are not equal to Krishna. So if someone is saying that I am Krishna, you should just ask them, that what Krishna has did some feat at age of 7, when he was even like in as a baby, can't even move like this baby is moving here, right? He killed Putana with that, right? And at age of I don't know exact age, but maybe a very early age, 7 to 10, 11, I think so, 10-year-old, Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill. Like if someone is saying that I am Krishna, you're Krishna, ask them that can you lift the Govardhan hill? Or can you do the things Krishna did? They can't. So it's a big offense thinking that everyone is Krishna. Otherwise, we won't have temples, we don't have Vigraha to worship and, offer the prayers. So it is an offense, but, as it is, Prabhupada said that when you hear from Mayavadis, it is the milk touched by a serpent, so it becomes a poison. So then it is condemned even by Lord Chaitanya. So I hope it answers your question. It's clearly condemned. I think 2 minutes left, so I'll pause. If you don't mind, then if you leave all the cushions, pass it on to someone, and if you can stack it up over there, everyone can stand up, and then we will have Aarti in 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming to Bhaktivedanta Manor this Sunday. So we're gonna sing this song, this Gaurarati song by Bhaktivedanta Thakur, glorifying the Supreme Lord. So the singer, His Grace Paramakaruna Prabhu, who is our head monk there at Bhaktivedanta Manor, he will sing the first line, and please do repeat after him.
Jaya Jaya Gaurachande Arati Kaso Jaya jaya Gaurachande Aroti ka shobha